They'll be calling you radical. Back to Fukushima, back to the radiation. I love it in California how the sheeple have woke up 1,000 days later. A guy from Fremont, California was on the legislative floor, I guess, the California, calling for testing. 1,000 days later, as a guy says from University of California, not Cal Berkeley, University of California says he's got a kelp. They're going to monitor the forest and we're going to hold your feet to the fire. You say you're going to do this, we're going to hold your feet. And I can tell you what the reading's going to be already. I'll tell you exactly what all the readings are going to be. They're going to come back and they're going to say, yeah, we traced cesium 137, 134. That's all they'll tell you. They'll tell you, yeah, and it was low limits, safe levels. As this guy says, oh, I've been testing fish. Then you read down, oh, I tested 7 fish. Really? That's a big insight. I'm a stats professor. You came to me and says, hey, I got a subset I'm doing with my answer. I says, how big's your answer? 7. I'd throw you out of my fucking class. Tell you, go back to the 3rd fucking grade. Look, this is ridiculous. Here, class, here, you freaking moron sheeple. I mean, there's plenty of people out there that are trying. I mean, come on. Our activism is working. All you keyboard activists, all us activists, I mean, you should be very proud of yourselves, what you've done. I mean, this wasn't Chernobyl this time. We countered these lying pricks. You should be very proud. You woke up the sheep. This is not keyboard activists, social media activists. That's people that are told to tell. It's work. I have a new radio show, as you know. I want to tell you something too about my radio show about this, is I've dedicated so much of my show to Aaron Swartz, to the murder of Pat Tillman, to Michael Hastings. But I want to really call attention to, a lot of people don't understand that as this fight went on with my YouTube site from the day it happened, as I got leukemia, it evolved into a cancer fight. A lot of people with AML leukemia post-Fukushima were in our site every day. I mean, a lot of them. Well, Dana, her brother who's been posting, has donated. He's opened a thrift store in her name. My radio show on this vlog, first and foremost, are to cancer victims that have passed. I did a video about Dana that day, and lightning bolted through the window. You know, it's out there. You can hear it crash. He would go into her room, and she allowed us to watch her path as she passed. You know, there's been a whole bunch of people that got leukemia and got hardcore, brutal cancers in this site every day. My beautiful friend Paul, he and I walked, he was in our site every day. Every once in a while I'll go to an old video and I'll see there's Paul's freaking comments. And I'm like, whoa, it breaks my heart, because he died a year ago. So many of them died. You know, we have to fight for those who have passed. You know, you can lie all you want, safe limits, cesium, won't even talk about plutonium. It's about pockets of radiation. I mean, don't you people understand this? Don't you get this? I mean, it's like you go throw 1,000 rubber duckies in the freaking water off the coast of Fukushima. Which ones freaking make it to Japan just like, or I mean to the United States just like this and just like this? You gotta remember, the debris field that's hitting Catalina Island and hitting Southern California, some of that stuff hit Alaska in days. I mean, that bridge made it to Eugene, Oregon in days. This is pockets of radiation. It's like the first 5 days when it plumed over. That's when the plume was in the air. It's where it rained the next day. You know, the pockets of heavy radiation. Under the cloud, Richard Miller, I mean, heavy documented this on the open air test. You know, some of the pockets of leukemia spiked were as far away as upstate New York. I mean, think about Chernobyl, the areas. A lot of them were in Scotland, a lot of them in England, the hardcore. It's where it rains the next day, those first 5 days. So, taking these homogeneous readings here, there, everywhere, and this whole hyperbole that somehow California's more radiated, it's not true. Yeah, California, the ocean right there, the marine layers rolling in, but it's where it rains. Yeah, a fish. Okay, hello. Okay, you liars and deniers. They caught a fish off the coast of Japan with 16,000 tons. Plutonium. You don't get cesium 134 without Pu 239 and Pu 240. You know, you don't even talk it. It's like it's the 100 elephants in the room. Okay, that fish swim, tuna migrate. We don't even know the migration pattern of tuna to this day. No one knows. No one does. That's the tracer study. They're trying to find out migration patterns when they picked up the cesium 134 and 137. One's natural occurring, one is not. But yeah, I mean, these are man-made elements from nuclear freaking disasters. This is an ongoing disaster that's going on at Fukushima. You go in denial all you want. All you want. Nothing's been done because there are no answers. They have no. TEPCO's words themselves, we are relying on unyet developed technology. So why they kick the can and try to cut why they developed technology. Tuna, we call the silver streak. They could be the fastest creatures on Earth. Probably most likely are. You know, we don't even know their migration patterns. So, okay, let's say that fish they caught off the coast of Fukushima was 16,000 times. You know, a year and a half ago. Say that fish swims, gets into the food chain, you eat fish every day, you're fine, you're fine. It's called the inset. Then all of a sudden, boom, you eat that fish. I'm here to tell you, you eat a fish with 16,000 times the so-called safe legal limits, you're going to die. You're going to get cancer and it's going to kill you. So you can go in denial all you want about this. My radio show, and it's for free. I have no sponsors. I do all this for free. You know, and so we walk the walk, the good fight. It's going to be about the people who fought the good fight. And I always go to Michelangelo. You know I always go back there. Remember this. Michelangelo is they're called the panty painters, the diaper painters, as the new pope came in and he wanted Michelangelo dead. You know, painted over a lot of his stuff. And he was going to completely rewrite Michelangelo's incredible history. You know, and he had his body when Michelangelo died. Michelangelo's nephew, which was Leonardo, not that Leonardo. By the way, Michelangelo and that Leonardo really hated each other. I mean, they were the opposite of the spectrum, but his nephew wouldn't allow it. He protected him in his death. He broke in there in the middle of the night. He stole that body. 2 nights and 2 days, he packed it on his shoulders by mule back to Florence. And he saved Michelangelo's incredible work and his incredible history. That's happened. Vincent van Gogh, without his brother, it doesn't happen. Sorry about that. Without Theo's wife carrying on, his story's untold. And why art? Because really, as a socioeconomist, you blend history, art, all these things together. That's what artists are. That's what marquee artists are. I don't see anybody standing up for Pat Tillman anymore, and his story's going to be told. For Michael Hastings, his story going to be told. His Aaron Swartz. Now these are the 3 marquee. You go back to you know, Breitbart or whatever, but that's a whole different animal. That's a whole different animal. You know, I don't even want to mix them. I'm talking about these purists who are murdered. I mean, whether he pushed that gas pedal, Michael Hastings, or somebody else, it doesn't matter. We forced him into the corner because, can you imagine, you think about it, you're a young, brilliant person, you're telling the truth. You're exposing the biggest lies in thousands of years, you know, and you know you are, and yet you're under a hardcore attack. You know how vile that is to a person's psychic and soul? My God, who are we? So the government won't tell us anything. It's like you're in a relationship. I don't care if it's a marriage, a partnership, a business. You have a bond, you have an agreement between each other, whether it be sexually, whether financially, whatever. And one continually cheats on the other one, breaks that agreement that you have, whatever that agreement may be. Whose fault is it? The person the person allowing it over and over, no doubt about it. That's who we are as a populace. We just accept lies over and over. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Oh boy, you love to be lied to. You know what? So the government won't tell us anything? Radnet's a scam. They've lied to us. They shut it down. We've told this in factual detail, but people don't want to hear the truth. So, you know, everybody says, "Oh, you're causing." Who's causing the panic? We've been lied to this long, over and over and over. We get lied to this long. What are we supposed to do? These are pockets and patterns. So you can run up and down the coast of California all you want, your Geiger counters, whatever, and get these readings. Them readings have always been there. And you're going to get background levels are rising across as it mixes into the whole full chain over time. But hot pockets, absolute. I mean, come on, let's get real about this. You know, the old study that I present from June of 2011, one radioisotope that pick up 1,000 times, the other's 50 and 3, and just in those 3. I mean, it's where it rains. They're pockets, and we don't know where those pockets are at. None of us know. And we don't use, I mean, you think about these free market fairy tales. Let's get rid of government, let's get rid of, you know, when we have corrupt, we need to clean up government. We don't inspect our food. You think, I mean, China's going crazy over there, and remember this, the NRC recommended the evacuation of Tokyo. What saved Tokyo? The wind blowing out. The first 5 days, the wind was blowing out. You let this thing keep going on. Just let it keep going on. There's going to be an event over there. This can't just keep going on. And China knows it. They're freaking out in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, in Malaysia. They're freaking out. Because what if the wind's blowing the other way? If the wind would have been blowing over the mainland of Japan when this thing happened, the entire mainland, Japan's over. But by bad luck for us, I guess, it was blowing out over the Pacific, so we got it the first 5-6 days. Then pushed into the Pacific Ocean the entire time. We don't know where the pockets are. And surely the government's not out there testing, and there's nobody out there. Because, I mean, you think about it, we pay for these marine biology departments, we fund them. They don't do shit. They're not going to tell us. I mean, because they're scum. I mean, we're paying for our own demise. Not only these government-captured agencies, you know, the Department of Goldman Sachs, you know, Department of Treasury, the Department of Agriculture, Department of Monsanto, Department of Energy, the Department of General Electric, Cancer, you know, on and on and on, Department of Defense, the Department of Halliburton. Not only did we pay for them to lie to us, not even protect, now they use it as a weapon against us. You know, the Illuminati, all these crutches you guys have. You bring it into race, you bring it into religion. It's ridiculous. When really, we want to be lied to because, you know, we just accept it. We accept death via cancer. I like, oh, cancer rates aren't going. Are you kidding me? You know, how many of you women have had your breast cut off? How many men have had your prostate? You maimed your whole bodies. Just say, oh, for the nuclear industry. Nuclear is freaking cancer, period. Everyone gets cancer. Everyone. Is medicine trying to catch up? Well, I guess they, you know, I'm alive. You know, as I live to tell, but you guys are in your own dogma. It's lunacy. You know, you want to start tracking stuff 1,040 days later in California? Where you morons been? Where the fuck are you morons been in fucking, you know, the California legislature's talking about 1,000. I mean, come on. Wow. You could run up with your Geiger counters up and down beaches all you fucking want. It's not going to tell you shit. Yeah. Raise limits. Oh, naturally occurring. You could be standing right there. You know, Madame Curie herself. Madame Curie was in denial the whole time as she was bleeding and, you know, died of radiation exposure. You could keep going in denial. I had a person, you know, arguing with me all about, oh, these small limits are so good. These aren't small limits. You could be right next to a reactor blowing your head out and you know, why you're dying. And, you know, they'd be saying, oh, safe limits. That's all they know. They're like regurgitating freaking dogmatic, trained. I mean, what an insult to the monkeys. Pockets. You don't know what you're getting because the government's lied to us. So I say stay on tune it until we, well, not until we know. Come on, come on. 3 full core meltdowns into the Pacific Ocean, you're in denial. And there's no consequence for that? Please, please. So you're saying science is a lie. Einstein's a lie. Sokoloff's a lie. Oppenheimer's, they're all liars. This doesn't do anything. We could pollute and rape and pillage the fucking earth all we want, and there's no consequences. All these animals dying in droves. Oh, no, that's just coincidence. The grebes dropping dead all over the Great Salt Lake. The eagles dropping. Oh, that's a coincidence. You know, the squid committing suicide. I love this asshole that photoshopped. I want to find out who that guy is that photoshopped that guy, and I'm going to knock that punk out. You know, you rats and you trolls, if you participate, support this freaking thing, you go in denial, try to pacify and justify all this. We know who you are. Stay on tune it.